don't know what to do with my hair. I look like a boy. Gonna look at this footage after and go, oh my god, what was I thinking? I need to start over. Alright guys, so before I get started with this video, I just want to really quickly tell you guys that I have something super exciting. A lot of you guys have been asking me since I put out my concept map video and I think how to study or how to make notes, or I don't know what video it was, a bunch of videos ago, a bunch of months ago. A lot of you guys have been asking me to share my concept map booklet that I made, that I have this book right here if you remember it. And I don't know, I showed you guys this so long ago, but it's just full, I'll show you guys this way. Can't see that any better. So it is full of concept maps that I made when I was studying for my licensing exam. And so I kind of got inspired by another nurse here on YouTube. I can't remember who it was, but I've decided, sorry, I'm like repositioning myself as I'm talking to you guys. So I've decided to upload my booklet. I have it as a PDF document on my laptop and I reviewed it and everything onto Etsy, and so it will be available on Etsy. I will leave the link down below, and you guys will have to pay for it only because I worked really hard on that booklet, and I basically all of last summer for 3 months every day I was busy doing that, and it comprises all of my 3 years of nursing into an 80-page booklet. It has med-surg, it has psychiatry, geriatrics, peds OB. I have a section with like tests and diagnoses, and that's what I used to study for my licensing exam. Funny story, I sold it to one of my friends because she asked me for it, and I was like, I don't want to just give it to you. I worked so hard on it. I find that it wasn't fair. It's just like, here, I worked so hard, just take it, you know? So I sold it to her for like $40, which thinking about it was probably a little bit excessive, but she bought it anyways. And so on Etsy, it will be retailing. I did $20. I feel like that's an okay price. Like I would pay $20 for a study tool. Heck, I paid $40 for my RN notes that I never use. I paid $60 for my pharmacology cards that I hardly ever use. So I feel like $20 for a study tool is not that bad. But you guys let me know, maybe it's too expensive. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know that it is available on Etsy. I opened a little shop today. I'm super excited, and I will leave the link down below for you guys if you want to check it out. And I think that's it. So now let's actually start with the video. Hey guys, what's up? It is me. I'm back today with another video, and I had absolutely no idea what to do for this week's video. And I was like, oh my god, when am I gonna film it? I have no time. And as you can tell, I just washed my hair. By the way, please excuse my appearance. I got home from clinical 20 minutes ago, and I was about to do schoolwork, and I was like, oh my god, I know what to do for this week's video. So, I'm sure you can tell by the title, I'm going to be talking about feeling, I guess, not in your place and not feeling welcome as a student nurse. Now, for those of you that have been following me for a while, you can skip over this part, but basically my trajectory, as I've told you guys many times, in Quebec where I live, we have a 3-year program in the institution known as CEGEP. You basically get a DEC, which is a 3-year nursing program, but you get your license at the end of it. I think it's, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's kind of like the ADN in the States. Some people have told me that. And so at the end of that, you get your license, you can work as a nurse, but you can go on and do your bachelor's, which is 2 years, which is what I'm doing. So I graduated last May, got my license in September, and I started working last summer on the floor that I work on, which is now a medical unit. So now I am at McGill University doing my bachelor's, and our curriculum or program, whatever, has a summer semester, which is a clinical in an acute care setting. And so I'm doing my clinical at the ICU at the hospital where I work at, which is awesome. And it's a really great ICU. There's literally 7 beds. Like, it's so small, but it's so cute, and like, it's calm. Well, I shouldn't say it's calm, but like, there's not much noise, and like, it's really interesting. It's small, everything's close by, so it's really cool. But it's really weird because I've been working for the past year. I've been on my own, I'm independent, I can do what I want, I talk to the doctors, I have my coworkers, my peers, you know, we're kind of all on the same level. When I introduce myself to the patient, it's like, I'm your nurse, and like, you know, you have this confidence that you didn't have before as a student. As a student, I get there in the morning and I'm like, yes, my name is Justine, I'm a student. And then a lot of them are like, ugh, like students, you know, like they don't they don't really like students. They're not very welcoming because it's like an intensive care unit, I guess. I don't know. And it's very small. They don't like it to be too crowded or whatever. And even though they know that we're nurses, they're still not so welcoming, which is like hard to deal with. And so it's weird because now I'm put back into the perspective of a student, which I haven't been in for a really, really long time. And it makes me think like, oh my God, when I have students with me on my floor, this is how they must feel. Although my floor, I mean, it's a clinical teaching unit, so we're very welcoming to students. We always have students, so we're used to it. And when you get hired, it's like, this is a clinical teaching unit. Do you like to teach students? So like, it's like, if you're gonna work there, you have to like students, which I do. I love teaching students. When I'm working and I have students that are in clinical, I absolutely love teaching them. It's so fun seeing them like learn things and they're all excited and stuff. Like, I love it. But I guess some people don't feel the same way. And so I guess it's just weird. Like, I've been out of clinical for a year and now being back in it, it's like I feel like I'm regressing, even though I'm not. I'm expanding my horizon and my skills, and I'm seeing so many cool things that I've never seen before. Like, I've never seen an epidural. I don't know why. Can you believe it? I've never seen an arterial line. I had an intubated patient. I saw him extubated. NGs, DOB-OFs, which I have seen before, obviously. Intrajugular lines, like so many cool things. They do dialysis at the bedside. Dialysis nurse comes with this big machine, so they do dialysis at the bedside. Like, there's so many cool things that I never would have experienced on my floor, which honestly outweighs the negative of being rejected as a student. But anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is that, I don't know, it's really weird. I don't like it. I have a week left in the stash, and then my next clinical is next fall. So I have a little bit, like, I have all the summer to work and be good, independent, and it's so weird. Like, I'm doing all this work and I'm not being paid, and I'm like, okay, yesterday I was at work and I was getting paid for doing like the same job, and now I'm not paid. Like, it's so weird. And I don't know, your teachers come to check up on you, and I'm just like, like, it's embarrassing. Not that it's embarrassing, but it's like, all the I know that all nurses like always roll their eyes when the teachers get there. I don't know. It's funny. It's weird. But yeah, and I guess like all of you guys that are nursing students, I'm sure can relate to this. I feel like we've all been through this, and all you guys that are nurses, I feel like this is, personally, it's going to make me more aware of how I treat students. Not that I'm treat them badly, but I'm going to be just more aware of it. And I guess like you guys should also be aware. I'm sure you guys are awesome. It takes literally 2 minutes to forget what it feels like to be a student, because as soon as you get your license and you're working, you're like, oh, you get on like this pedestal and you're like, oh yes, I did it, I'm not a student anymore. And we kind of like, so quickly I find that we forget what it feels like to be a student. And I think that we should always keep that in the back of our mind. It's going to make us better nurses, better teachers, better educators, and just better people overall. But it's cool because like, since I have my RN, like, I do all my assessments, I can sign meds by myself, I chart by myself. Like, obviously, like this morning, the nurse, it was the first time I was with her, and she's like, do I have to go do an assessment? Like, do I have to verify? I'm like, no, it's okay. Like, I've done head to toes before, don't worry. You can trust me. Like, and if there's anything, I'll come tell you, you know? I haven't really worked with arterial lines. I had like one like 2 weeks ago, but I don't really remember how it worked. So I was like, okay, well, like, I'll do my head to toe, but then can you come help me just for the arterial line? Oh, and this is like totally off topic, but the patient had a toe amputated like yesterday, and so we took off the dressing and she cleaned, like, I was like her, because she was like sterile gloves and everything, so I was like her hands, like I was helping her, and she cleaned the wound. And then she packed it. And can you believe it? I've never seen packing before, which is really weird. And also, oh my God, I have so much to tell you guys. Also, one of the patients that was in ICU was going up to my floor, and then one of the patients from my floor was going to ICU, so they were doing like a swap. And like, when I was in ICU, I was telling them, I'm like, yeah, this guy, he's been there for like a month, like he has this, and everything. And they're like, oh, cool. And then after that, I went up to my floor because I had to talk to my head nurse about something. And I saw like my friend who actually was getting the patient, and she took a report for him, and I was like, yeah, this guy, I had him 2 weeks ago. And like, it was so cool to be able to like tell, like I'm kind of like in two places at once, so I have like perspective of both. And like, now when I'll send patients down to ICU, like I know, like I'll know the nurses, and I'll like, I don't know, it's just really cool, and it's a really great experience. I think that's it. I have ranted enough. I need to get back to work. Well, I can just start working actually. But I will see you guys next week. Bye guys!